built walls higher than any skyscraper because life taught her that words are cheap and promises break like glass under pressure. She's dated the charming ones who disappear when things get real, the ambitious ones who treat connection like a transaction, and the nice guys whose kindness feels like a mask for insecurity. Yet here you are, mature enough to understand that attraction isn't just sparks and butterflies, it's safety, depth, and being truly seen in a world that constantly makes her question her worth. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover a simple phrase rooted deep in female psychology that bypasses every defense mechanism she's built over years of disappointment. This isn't pickup artist nonsense or superficial compliments that fade by morning. This is mature dating advice that speaks directly to her emotional core, the part of her that craves genuine understanding without having to explain herself constantly. Women don't just hear these 3 words, they feel them in their nervous system, rewriting old stories of being overlooked or undervalued. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how to deliver them in a way that creates lasting emotional imprint, turning fleeting interest into deep magnetic connection. You'll understand why certain men walk into a room and women light up while others fade into the background, even when they say all the right things. Stay with me because what I'm about to share has transformed ordinary conversations into unforgettable bonds for men who finally stopped guessing and started truly connecting. This knowledge isn't just theory. It's psychology backed by how women actually process emotion, validation, and security in mature relationships. If you've ever felt invisible in dating or wondered why some connections fizzle despite chemistry, this will change everything. Let's dive in. But before I reveal the exact 3 words and how to make them unforgettable, there's something most men completely miss about the moment she decides whether you're different. And it happens faster than you think. Women in their mature years carry invisible backpacks filled with past experiences. Every "I'm fine" that really meant she was exhausted from carrying emotional labor alone. Every time she compromised her needs to keep the peace only to watch respect slowly erode. Female psychology isn't mysterious once you understand it. It's protective. She's wired to scan for consistency between words and actions because her nervous system remembers the cost of trusting too quickly. That's why generic compliments bounce off her like rain on a windshield. But when a man speaks to her core need for being emotionally witnessed, something shifts at a primal level. Think about the last time you felt truly understood by someone. Not just heard, but seen in your complexity, your strengths, your fears, your quiet victories that no one else noticed. For women, this need runs even deeper because society has trained them to be the emotional caretakers, while often neglecting their own inner world. In mature dating, she's not looking for a savior or a project. She wants a partner who sees her as the complete woman she already is and chooses to walk beside her anyway. This is where the real power begins. The foundation of unforgettable connection starts long before those 3 words leave your mouth. It's built in the small moments of presence. When she shares a story about her stressful day, most men jump to solutions. They problem solve like it's a puzzle to fix. But mature attraction grows when you offer something rarer. Validation without agenda. That sounds incredibly heavy. I can see why you're feeling drained. Simple, human, powerful. Because it tells her nervous system, this man isn't here to fix me. He's here to stand with me. Relatability hits hard here. How many times have you felt dismissed when opening up? Men experience it too, but women often describe it as being emotionally invisible in relationships. They handle careers, family expectations, their own aging bodies, and the quiet grief of unmet dreams, all while being told they should just be grateful. When you create space for her reality without judgment, you become the rare man who makes her exhale years of tension. This isn't manipulation. It's emotional intelligence that mature women deeply respect and remember. Curiosity builds naturally as you listen more than you speak in early conversations. Ask questions that show you're paying attention to her unique world. What does a perfect unwinding evening look like for you these days? Or what's something you're proud of that no one really knows about? These aren't interview questions. They're invitations into her inner landscape. And when she answers, resist the urge to relate everything back to your own stories immediately. Give her the stage. Female psychology research shows women bond through feeling understood far more than through shared activities alone. It's why deep conversations late into the night feel more intimate than any fancy dinner. Now, let's talk about the emotional triggers that make certain words land with the force of truth. Women over 35 or 40 have often done the inner work. They've read the books, been to therapy, learned their attachment styles. They know what anxious, avoidant, or secure looks like. They can spot performative masculinity from a mile away, the guy who talks respect but crumbles when real vulnerability appears. Authenticity becomes the ultimate aphrodisiac in mature dating. When your energy matches your words, her body relaxes, her guard lowers, and that's when the three words we're building toward can create a memory that lingers for years. Picture this realistic scenario that so many men live through. You've had a few great dates. Chemistry is there. Conversations flow. But something feels missing. She pulls back slightly when things could deepen. It's not rejection, it's caution. Her psychology is doing its job, protecting her heart from another potential letdown. This is the moment most men either push too hard or withdraw, both confirming her old fears. Instead, the mature move is steady presence. No games, no sudden intensity, just consistent emotional availability that proves you're safe. This consistency rewires her experience. Every text that shows thoughtfulness instead of neediness, every plan that respects her time and energy, every moment you remember details she mentioned weeks ago. These micro moments accumulate into a profound sense of being valued. And value is the currency of lasting attraction for women who've learned their worth the hard way. Let's go deeper into female psychology without the fluff. Evolutionary and modern attachment research both point to the same truth. Women seek partners who signal both strength and emotional safety. Strength isn't just physical or financial. It's the strength to hold space for her emotions without becoming overwhelmed or dismissive. In a world of constant distraction, the man who can be fully present becomes magnetic. She doesn't need you to be perfect. She needs you to be real, accountable, and willing to grow alongside her. Many men struggle here because they were never taught emotional vocabulary. They learn to suppress feelings to appear strong, only to find that true strength in mature relationships includes tenderness. When you can say, "I felt really connected after our last conversation, I've been thinking about what you shared," you're demonstrating something rare. You're modeling secure attachment, and secure women respond powerfully to secure men. It creates a feedback loop of trust that feels addictive in the best way, building curiosity further. Have you noticed how some couples seem to have their own language, inside jokes, and effortless understanding even after years? That doesn't happen by accident. It starts with intentional emotional deposits early on. Small acts of witnessing her world create massive returns in connection. She starts thinking about you when you're not around. Not because you're chasing, but because you've become a source of genuine positive emotion in her life. Now let's address the common pitfalls that kill potential before it begins. Rushing physical intimacy before emotional safety is established is one. Many men think chemistry equals readiness, but for mature women, emotional safety often precedes desire. Another mistake, over-complimenting appearance while ignoring her mind, ambitions, and character. She hears "you're beautiful" constantly. What she rarely hears is the way you handled that difficult situation showed incredible strength. I admire that about you. Specificity and sincerity make words memorable. Relatability check. If you've ever poured energy into someone only to feel unappreciated, you know the sting. Women feel this amplified in dating because they often give emotional labor freely, hoping it will be reciprocated. When it isn't, resentment builds quietly. The man who breaks this cycle by offering appreciation without keeping score becomes unforgettable. Gratitude expressed genuinely, "Thank you for sharing that with me. It means a lot that you trust me with it." Lands deep, expanding on this foundation for lasting impact. Mature dating isn't a sprint, it's a marathon of mutual respect and discovery. As weeks turn to months, the emotional intimacy compounds. She starts revealing dreams she buried under responsibilities, fears she rarely voices, hopes for a partnership that feels like home. Your role isn't to solve these, but to witness and support. This is where the three words gain their power, because they're not said in isolation. They're the culmination of proven safety. Let's explore real-life parallels that make this tangible. Consider the woman who raised children while building a career, sacrificing personal time for years. She's independent, capable, and tired of proving herself. When a man enters her life and sees her, not the supermom mask, not the professional facade, but the woman who still wants to feel desired and cherished, he stands out dramatically. He doesn't compete with her strength. He complements it. He creates space where she can soften without losing herself. This dynamic is incredibly attractive because it honors her full journey. Psychological impact intensifies when you understand vulnerability as strength. Many men fear showing their own emotions, believing it makes them less attractive. The opposite is true in mature connections. When you share appropriately, "I've been working on being more present because I know how important that is," you invite reciprocity. She sees you doing the work, which encourages her to do the same. This mutual growth creates bonds that feel destined rather than convenient. Curiosity hook. What if the key to her remembering you wasn't some grand gesture but three simple words delivered at the perfect emotional moment? Words that acknowledge her entire being rather than just parts of her. Words that say you see the battle scars and the beauty they created. Words that communicate choice, not out of desperation, but from genuine appreciation of who she is today. Building toward the revelation while keeping engagement high. Think about the difference between surface-level dating and soul-level connection. Surface level feels exciting at first, but leaves both people empty. Soul level feels scary because it requires courage, yet it fulfills in ways nothing else can. Mature women have usually experienced enough of the former to crave the latter. They want depth, even if they test you unconsciously to see if you can handle it. Tests come in many forms. Pulling away slightly to see if you chase anxiously, sharing a heavy story to gauge your response, or observing how you handle disagreement. The mature response is always the same: steady, non-reactive, compassionate leadership, not controlling but grounded. You hold your center while making space for hers. This consistency is rare and deeply reassuring to her nervous system. Let's dive into more practical psychology. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone, floods her system during moments of emotional safety and touch, but safety comes first. Dopamine rewards novelty and achievement, but in relationships, it's sustained by feeling chosen repeatedly. Serotonin stabilizes mood when she feels respected and secure. The three words we're approaching trigger all three when delivered authentically. They become a neurological anchor, a memory she returns to when doubts creep in. Realistic scenarios continue to ground this. Imagine after several meaningful dates, you're sharing a quiet evening. She's opened up about a past hurt that still echoes. Instead of fixing or distancing, you listen fully. Then, in a calm, sincere voice, you deliver the words that change everything. But I won't reveal them fully yet, because the delivery matters as much as the content. Context, timing, and your emotional state all amplify their power. Many viewers watching this have stories of almost connections. The woman who seemed perfect but ghosted after things got real. The dates that felt promising until conversations stayed superficial. The self-doubt that follows. Am I enough? Do I know how to love properly at this stage? These feelings are normal and human. What separates those who succeed in mature dating is willingness to learn the language of emotional connection rather than staying stuck in old patterns. Expanding generously on relatability. Life after 40 or 50 often brings wisdom mixed with weariness. You've achieved things, faced losses, learned what truly matters. The same applies to her. Dating at this stage isn't about playing games or pretending to be 20 again. It's about showing up as your evolved self and inviting her to do the same. No masks, no performances. Just two people who understand time is precious and connection shouldn't be wasted. This mindset shift alone attracts quality partners. Desperation repels. Quiet confidence draws in. When you're genuinely okay whether she chooses you or not, because you value yourself, you paradoxically become more choosable. Women sense this internal security. It feels safe. It feels mature. It feels like the kind of man who won't crumble when life inevitably brings challenges. Curiosity deepens. How do these three words bridge the gap between attraction and commitment? They do so by speaking directly to her need for significance. Not ego-stroking, but soul significance. Knowing that in your eyes, she matters in a way that's specific to her essence. This creates emotional stickiness that generic advice never touches.
Let's layer in more depth on female psychology explained accessibly. Women often process emotions through storytelling and relational context. They don't just want facts, they want to feel the meaning behind experiences. When you reflect back her story with empathy, it makes complete sense that you built those walls after what you went through. And I respect how you've grown despite it. You demonstrate understanding at a profound level. This reflection validates without patronizing. Avoid common traps like negging, playing hard to get, or excessive mystery. In mature dating, those tactics backfire because intelligent women see through them instantly. Transparency, tempered with healthy boundaries, wins. Tell her you're enjoying getting to know her. Show it through actions, consistency over intensity.
The psychological impact compounds when you combine verbal validation with behavioral proof. Saying the right things is powerful, but living them daily creates trust that words alone can't. Small things. Following through on plans, checking in thoughtfully, respecting her independence while offering support. These prove you're not just talking connection, you're living it. To reach the full 5,000-word depth, we'll explore variations, examples, potential objections, long-term effects, and integration into real life. This isn't a quick tip, it's a complete framework for transforming how you show up in dating. Consider the woman who felt invisible in her marriage for decades. She stayed for the kids, for stability, but lost pieces of herself. Now single or divorced, she's cautious but hopeful. She wants a partner who sees her renaissance, not just her history. When you acknowledge both, I love hearing about the woman you're becoming now while honoring everything that brought you here, you touch something sacred. This level of seeing is rare and profoundly moving. Another scenario, the successful professional woman who intimidates most men. Her achievements are impressive, but behind them is a person who wants to be cherished, not competed with. The mature man celebrates her success without feeling diminished. He says, in effect, your strength makes you more attractive, not less. This acceptance frees her to relax into femininity without apology. Building emotional safety takes time, and that's okay. Rushing creates fragility. Patient presence creates resilience. Week by week, conversation by conversation, the connection strengthens. She starts initiating more, sharing more, looking forward to your time together with genuine excitement. This is the organic progression mature dating rewards. Now, the moment you've been waiting for, the 3 words. The phrase that women can't forget once delivered with sincerity after establishing the foundation we've discussed. I choose you. Subziri skomist. One walk carringting sevelog skonsars. Subzin perkimpetit ork. 3 simple words, but when spoken after weeks of proven presence, deep listening, and mutual vulnerability, they carry the weight of commitment without pressure. I choose you, says I see all of you, the accomplishments, the wounds, the dreams, the quirks, and I still select you as my person. Not because I need to fill a void, but because being with you enriches my life. This isn't casual dating language. It's mature declaration that respects her autonomy while expressing clear intention. Why does this land so powerfully in female psychology? Because women have often been chosen for superficial reasons: looks, availability, convenience. Being chosen for her complete self, after time has revealed her layers, speaks to the deepest need for significance and security. It bypasses her defenses because it's earned, not assumed. It creates an emotional anchor she returns to during tough times. He chose me, knowing everything. Delivery matters enormously. Say it during a moment of real connection, perhaps after she's shared something meaningful. Look her in the eyes. Speak slowly with calm conviction. No grand gestures needed, just truth. Follow it with space for her to receive it, not immediate pressure for reciprocation. Let the words settle into her heart. Realistic examples of impact. One man used this after 6 weeks of quality time. She later told him those words replayed in her mind during a stressful work week, reminding her she wasn't facing life alone. Another delivered them during a vulnerable conversation about future hopes. The relationship deepened dramatically afterward because the words crystallized what actions had already shown. Variations to keep it authentic. I choose us, for slightly different emphasis. Or I choose you, exactly as you are. Tailor to the moment while keeping the core 3 words intact. The power comes from specificity to her and the relationship you've built. Potential objections. What if she doesn't say it back immediately? That's normal and healthy. Give her time to process. True choice can't be forced. If the foundation is solid, her response will come naturally. What if timing feels off? Trust your intuition built through presence. The words work best when they